Yeah, here we go. All right, hey guys, what's up? It's Stephen Dunn from Core Therapy and Pilates, and today I want to introduce our new physical therapist, my man Jared Aguilar.
What's up, y'all?
Today he's hanging out with us. He's been observing. He's been hanging out in our meetings. He's actually been hanging out the last couple weeks now, and I wanted to just get him in front of the camera. I brought him on a couple weeks ago, and he taught one of our Mindful Movement Monday classes. I kind of just threw him in the spot, didn't warn him about anything. Said, "Come on, boy, you're working. Let's go. Let's get to it. Start teaching." But today, I just want to ask him a couple questions, give y'all a chance to get to know him a little bit. And the first thing about Jared is that me and him are both from the same neck of the woods.
Hey.
We're Louisiana boys, South Louisiana from the boot. So first of all, Jared, where you from, man?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in New Orleans.
That's right.
After Hurricane Katrina, we moved to Baton Rouge, spent a little bit of time in Houston, but grew up and because they cut my teeth. Is that
That's
the
right.
phrase?
That's right.
Is that the
That's
phrase?
right. That's right.
In Baton Rouge in New Orleans, so we share that in common. Went to LSU for undergrad, so I know you know a little bit about Louisiana State.
I'm a Tiger fan. I'm a little bit of an obnoxious Tiger fan. If you've ever been in my room, you've seen all the obnoxious memorabilia. So that's right.
Tigers.
Go Tigers! And it's almost football season, so I'm even going to be more obnoxious coming a couple weeks.
It's only going to get worse.
That's right. Now I got another LSU Tiger with me to help with this process. So now. I grew up in Covington, right across the lake from New Orleans. I was about 45 minutes to an hour across the lake from New Orleans and about an hour east of Baton Rouge. So I was kind of equidistant to both of the spots that he lived. And I went to school in Hammond for undergrad, where he went to school in Baton Rouge for undergrad. And then I went to school at LSU in New Orleans for PT school, where he went to school here in Austin for PT school.
The PT school here in South Austin at the University of St Augustine, which is a big PT school. They have campuses in St Augustine where they started, and they branched out to Austin, Texas. So that's what brought me over here in Texas. Now I'm a Texan, and I love it over here in Austin.
And so for some of you who've been around in my world for many years, you might remember a guy named Dr. Thomas Warner. Dr. Tom worked for me for about 2 or 3 years, and then he left working with me to go teach at the school where Jared just came from.
Yeah.
And so when Jared finished the program, Dr. Tom was basically the head honcho of the school and program. So it's another commonality, a common thread for us is Dr. Tom. And so with that said, let me ask you, what led you to want to get into physical therapy? What opened that door for you?
Yeah, so throughout high school and in undergrad, I was always into fitness, right? Being healthy, trying to be as healthy as you can be. And naturally, in undergrad, people suggested that I look into physical therapy because I was into fitness and trying to improve human performance, right? And I didn't know much about it. I knew that, that there was a physical therapist that came to work with my grandma at her home. And I'm like, okay, so maybe there's something there. Maybe there's a little bit more than just that home health aspect. But yeah, that was really the bug. It was a fitness bug that led me in to PT school. And throughout PT school, we get a bunch of great education on movement and therapeutic exercise, as they say. So it's awesome to be in a facility like this where you have Pilates and gyrotonic equipment that you can really embrace the fitness aspect along with rehab. So it's a beautiful blend over here at Core.
For sure, man. And let me ask you, when you got into PT school, knowing that you'd seen the home health version of it, were you interested in home health, or were you interested in more of the outpatient setting, or did you have any idea at that time?
So going into PT school, honestly, I was probably more of an open book. I was just trying to let me learn as much as I can. Probably still more drawn to like the fitness aspect. But I tell you what, I had an internship in some home health, which is where you go to somebody's home and treat them. And you see a lot of stuff there. You see a lot of things. Some wild homes out there. So there's still a place in my heart for it. I think there's a beautiful, intimate aspect where you actually physically go to somebody's home and spend that time with them. You can see where they sleep, where they eat, and you can paint a whole beautiful picture of how you can help that person in their home.
Yeah, I did a little home health when I was first opening my business in Los Angeles. And I was doing contract work for a couple of different companies, and while I was building those hours in outpatient, which is where I wanted to work, I did a little bit of home health just to pay the bills, and it was very interesting. You know, people sitting there with an oxygen tank smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a little scary. It's a little scary.
I don't like. You're gonna have to put that out if you want me to come in here.
Please put that out. Thank you.
Yeah, and for me, it's a little bit different story because I went into PT school knowing that I wanted to only work in an outpatient setting, and I only wanted people to be well enough to come to me. I wanted to work with sports injuries. I wanted to work with work injuries. And so I knew that going into PT school because of the place that I'd volunteered prior to PT school and ended up getting a job. And after working at that place and seeing the way they handle their business, the way they helped people, I was like, I'm doing this, and this is only what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then I got into PT school and had to learn about wound care and learned about, you know, working with people in the rehab hospital and skilled nursing facility. And man, that was mind blowing to me and really out of my comfort zone. So if you're a physical therapist, there's a lot of broad ways to serve clients. And in our setting, people are coming to us with back pain, shoulder injuries, surgical, post-surgical things. But in those home health settings and those other places, it's just all over the place, all kind of things. So with that said, I just wanted to I didn't know some of this stuff about Jared. So really, I was asking some questions to learn a little bit more about what sparked his interest in this. I knew he was from New Orleans and where he went to school, but I wanted to know a little bit more, go into it a little more deeper. Hey, Alexis, what's happening, gal? You shouldn't be paying attention to this phone if you're driving. You should be driving. So with that said, thanks for watching, guys. Jared's going to be around. He's going to be helping out. We're super excited to have him. We're going to be teaching him all kind of great stuff. And if you see him when he's here, go out of your way to go say hi. And you'll be working with him on his book and getting some elbows and some thumps and all that real soon. So with that said, any comments, post them below. Jared, welcome.
Super excited to be
so
part
glad
of this
to have you, my friend.
Man.
And we'll see y'all real soon, guys. Peace.
Go Tigers.
That's right. Who dat?